Hey guys, Durza here. Day 2 of Strong Like David. As we move through the month, we're going to learn about the leadership principles we can examine in the life of King David and how his early training created discipline and focus, and then how he surrounded himself with wise counsel, how he stumbled and fell. We're going to kind of look at that and find out how it applies to our lives every day so that we could be better leaders. But I think it's important to understand the time in history that we're talking about. Imagine a time where neighboring nations constantly invaded one another and took land and crops and slaves, and you had to be strong. You wanted to be strong. You wanted to have a strong leader that you could trust to lead you into battle. Well, at this point in history, early on, the Israelites were led by prophets and holy men, and those men were in communication and in union with God and would deliver to the people direction. But the Israelites began to doubt that, began to desire a king on a throne. And so that's exactly what they were given by way of King Saul. And he was exactly what they wanted, right? So picture a strapping, strong, awesome warrior, smart, probably good looking, charismatic, disciplined tactician. And he experienced early success, profound success. And he prayed and was listening to God and obedient, but he also became quite full of himself and greedy and began to turn his back and do his own thing. And we find time and again in history that, either in the Bible, or even in life, if we look at leaders today where they maybe are elected to some form of government and they receive great accolades and they have success and they receive power, and then sometimes the fall is dramatic. They turn away from what brought them there, engaging people, being disciplined, being honorable, and they find themselves in compromised positions. Well, the King Saul is like a classic of that, right? The politician gone bad. But he went bad not just with the people, he went bad with God, which is a bad idea. So that is occurring, and God has a plan and an intention to replace King Saul. So he asked the prophet Samuel to go to the house of a guy named Jesse and interview all of the sons, and that among that group he would find the next king that would lead the nation of Israel and lead the Israelites. Well, being obedient, Samuel goes to the house of Jesse and interviews the sons that are there. And but he says, do you have any other sons? And some of the sons that were there were kind of the quintessential king to be, right? Tall, dark, handsome, strong, capable. The oldest son, and then the second oldest. And Samuel learned that, yes, Jesse did have another son, David. And David was out in the field tending sheep. And we know that Samuel was obedient to God and that he insisted on also meeting David. And we'll learn more about that encounter as the weeks go on. But I just wanted to kind of set the stage of kind of what that period of time looked like and where did King David come from. I mean, he came from being probably the runt of the litter in some ways, right? The youngest brother, and he's literally put out the pasture to tend sheep because of the chain of command. And if you were a son, being the third, fourth, or fifth son down the line, you didn't have very much authority within the family in that culture and during those times. So here you have this gentleman who's young, probably not the strongest, not the tallest, not the best looking, but he's out tending sheep alone, where he develops incredible discipline and incredible skills that we will continue to learn about this month. So just wanted to set that stage for you as to the life and times that David was living in and how we came to find him.